Who wants to go live? I think I do. Are we going live? Are we going live? Is it 6:15 yet? I think it is. I think it's time to go live. Welcome to the Kelly Kitchen. We are here for some food, some health, and some fun. It's Thanksgiving week. I purposely did not do any like turkey stuff, but we are going to do cranberry sauce, sugar-free cranberry sauce. And we're going to do these pumpkin bun cakes that have been driving me crazy, but I think I have perfected the recipe and they came out great, and I've got some great pictures, and I can't wait to share with you. They got huge, great reviews from everybody. Hi, Marie. Hi, Amy. Everybody, it's so good to see you guys. This is like my week. Like, we're cooking, and it's going to be super fun. I have a bunch of college-age kids coming for Thanksgiving dinner. That they couldn't get home to their families, so I get to have them, which is super fun. Let me just make sure I get this all set up. Hi, Jessie. Okay, so we're also going to make a Tuscan chicken soup, and I'm not sure if I put this in my announcement, but we were going to do it in the Instant Pot, and we're not going to do it in the Instant Pot because I actually think that this might be faster just on the stovetop. But we're going to get started with the pumpkin, mini pumpkin bun cakes, and these have sort of plagued me because I wanted them to be light and dense, but I also wanted them to come out of the Bundt pan in one piece. So we are going to get started. One of the main important things with your Bundt pan is that you can't just spray it. And because we don't use flour, you can't, butter it and then flour it. So I have a really high quality Bundt pan. This recipe is for a large Bundt pan. It's about 10 cups of capacity, but this won't hold 10 cups. So we're going to do 6 in here, and then we're going to do the remaining 2 in here. And I am basically going to I took some butter and I melted it, and I am just going to paint every single nook and cranny. And I was hoping that I was going to actually get to this before I went live with you guys, but I was running so late that I just got home from work like 15 minutes ago. So I've been jamming trying to get ready for you guys, and I'm going to get these buttered up as quickly as I possibly can. You want to get all the nooks and crannies. I'm telling you right now, do not sprinkle these with almond flour. I tried it, and it just doesn't work. That when they come out, they get like kind of crumbly on top, and it's just not a good look. The other thing that I kind of learned about these bun cakes is that you can buy Lakanto brown sugar sweetener, but it's kind of hard to find, and when you get it online, it comes in little tiny packages, and it's super expensive. So I use my traditional Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. You guys know how I love this. But I add a teaspoon, just a teaspoon of molasses. You do not have to do that, but I think that it lends to like the flavor, and it gives your pumpkins like a depth. So there is my bun cake pan. I'm going to do my 2 ramekins. These are 8-ounce ramekins. I actually had to there's John Byrne. Go Keto Fabulous. These are 8-ounce ramekins. You can use smaller ones if you want. It's just what I had on hand. I have going in the microwave. I just microwaved because you really need the butter and the cream cheese to be at room temperature. So I just microwaved those and got them super soft. And I already put together, there's all my pans. So I'm going to get those out of the way now. I already pulled together the dry ingredients, and I'm going to use a fork. I'll show you what I'm doing. Get that out of the way. Can everybody see me? Yes, I hope so. So I've already pulled together, I have almond flour, coconut flour, pumpkin pie spice, which you can get at the supermarket, or I have a recipe on the website and you can make it on your own. There's some baking powder in here, and that's it. So you can put this through a fine mesh sieve. I have no time for that. So I just use the back of a fork and I just get all the little lumps out of here. And I think we're good with that. I'll pull out my my cream cheese and my butter, which is already melted. Now, I have to use a little cheat sheet because I just made this recipe up this weekend. And I'm not kidding you. I went through like, I don't know, 4 or 5 variations. It's, you know, I don't get to show you guys the flops very often because they're a little sad for me. But I do have flops and I work through it, and it's like a challenge for me to try and figure it out. So here we go. I've got my butter and my cream cheese, and I am going to put in let me see, what did I do here? I did 1 cup of my Lecanto monk fruit sweetener, and I'll mix this in, and then I'm going to put in some molasses, just a teaspoon. There's a half a cup, and there's a full cup. So we'll get that out of the way, and I'm going to use my whisk and get that nice pulled together. You could use a hand mixer, like an electric hand mixer, but hi, Ellie! I'm making the pumpkin bundt cakes. I can't wait for you guys to try these. So I've got the butter and the cream cheese and the sweetener mixed together. So now just a teensy bit of molasses, because molasses is not keto friendly. 1 tablespoon is 16 carbs. And you can omit this. You don't have to use this, but this is grandma, so it kind of reminds me of my grandma. And I'm only going to use a teaspoon. So when you spread out a teaspoon, the carbs over 8 buns, and actually you should really only eat like half of a little bundt cake, sorry. It's like a negligible amount of carbs, and I personally think it's worth it. So we are going to add 1 teaspoon of my molasses. I'm going to put in a half of a cup of pumpkin, and this is just pumpkin puree. It has no sugar in it. If you see the cans that say pumpkin pie filling, that is not what you want. I'm also going to use, you can use regular vanilla extract, but check it out. They have, or you can't see that, they have pumpkin pie spice extract. You can get this mostly during this holiday season. I kind of stockpile it because it lasts forever, but you can get this online too. But if you don't have this, you can use vanilla extract. I'm totally fine with that. So we're going to use, how much did I say here? We're going to use a teaspoon of pumpkin pie extract. We'll get that out of the way. So we'll continue mixing that in. It's got a nice color. We're going to put a half of a cup of, I've been doing a lot of pumpkin stuff, so whenever I open up a can, I never use the whole can. So this is what, you know, I just sort of tap into this, and I'm going to use a half of a cup, right? Is that what I'm using? Pumpkin puree. Yes, a half a cup. We're going to get that in there, and it gives it like a really nice moist flavor. So there's that. I'm going to just scrape the rest of this because I didn't get a full cup. I got a lot of questions today on the difference between allulose and erythritol and baking stuff, because I also was a little bit of a crazy lady and I got fully into making a pecan pie that, if you follow my Instagram, The Kelly Kitchen, I think I have it on my Facebook too, but I made a pecan pie that is to die for. So good. And I used allulose, which is a different sweetener that I like to use. Okay, so there I've got my pumpkin puree in there. I'm going to mix that all in. Let's show you what that looks like. It's got a nice little orange flavor. You see that? And then we are going to add our, oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the salt. So you always need to add a little bit of salt to these things. It's like that savory portion of it. And it is a 1/4 teaspoon into the dry stuff. I'm also going to add a 1/2 of, God, I hope to God these turn out. I'm like flying by the seat of my pants here. So we're going to add a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Yes, these are perfect keto. They are, well, they're more like low carb. Unless you eat a 1/2 of one. A 1/2 of one of these Bundt cakes is about 3.5 carbs. A full one is about 7. If you eat the frosting, which, why wouldn't you eat the frosting? So we've got the cream going in there. Now we're going to put in 3 eggs. We'll do them one at a time. I'm not really sure the science of this, but they always say instead of putting them all in, do them one at a time. So I'm down with that. I can follow directions. I hope everybody's got some good holiday plans and you're not too stressed. If you really think about it, cooking a turkey is not that difficult, and it's kind of one of those things where you just stick it in the oven and you kind of let it do its own thing. And I'm cool with that. I'm going to be using my Instant Pot to make my mashed potatoes for the crowd. I'll be making mashed cauliflower for me. Thanksgiving's tough for keto because everything on the plate except for the turkey is filled with carbs. Hi, Kelly. Oh my God, Peter Bromley's here. Peter Bromley, straight from Canada. Grace us with some of your fun comments. I love them. Okay, so here I have all of my pumpkin stuff mixed together. Now I'm going to, what's Peter doing? Peter's too silly. My Peter is up in Canada right now, and then he's on his way to Connecticut. Okay, so now I've got my wet stuff, and I'm going to mix it into my dry mixture. Don't worry, this recipe will be up on the website by late tonight. I already have it written out. I already have the pictures done, so it is going to go up, I promise. Okay, let me get I've got my Bundt pans. I've got my oven already preheated to 350. And let's just make sure we get all the nooks and crannies, because you know what a real disaster would be if we get done with these and they don't come out of the pan. I'll be so sad. I will be so sad. So we're just going to make sure we get all the nooks and crannies. Please, please, please come out. Okay, do that, put that there, get the molasses out of the way. Where's my stuff here? Okay, so I'm going to get one of these little guys. I'm going to mix my wet stuff into my dry stuff, and then we'll get these into the oven. These really cook very quickly. These are only like 20 minutes, maybe 22 minutes. And they come together really, really, really quickly. And then I'm hoping we have time, but we're going to put together the frosting. We should have time. I don't think we're going to run into too much difficulty there. Okay, so if you can see, I'm getting all of my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients. God, I hope I don't drop this. And we're going to get that nice and mixed. You know how sometimes I forget things and putting them in? I do not want to forget anything for this. So let me just check it out. I got the butter, I got the cream cheese, I got the eggs. I got that, I got that, I got that. Yes, 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 yes. I'm rocking tonight. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my pan, and here's my little ramekins. These are my extra guys. I'm going to get those all put together. And I am going to very gently, you don't want to fill these the whole way because they puff up. You want to do them like 2/3 of the way, and then we will tap them into the Bundt pan so that they get into all the nooks and crannies that hopefully they're going to slide right out of when they're done cooking. And I have to apologize. Last week when we made, we made the Bundt cake, the buttered rum Bundt cakes last week, and they're delicious, but I'm still working on the calculations. So I apologize for anybody that has been waiting for those. It is not because I haven't been working on it. I probably went through, I don't know, 2 or 3 versions of that recipe, and it tastes really good, but I can't give you the recipe until I know that it's the right calculation. So now I'm going to do these 2 little ramekins, do half in there, and I'm going to do half in here. Now, you don't need the frosting, but frosting is really good. But these are great if you are sick of eggs, which a lot of people get sick of eggs on keto and low carb. But if you're sick of eggs, these are great to sort of save and then have like late in the morning with your cup of coffee. I put a little bit too much in here, so I'm going to take some of this out and add it to my ramekin because I don't want these to get a muffin top on them because they're going to puff up so that they're just even with the Bundt pan. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. What do you think? Okay, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm tapping those down. Let's put these ones in. Put those all the way in the back. And then I'm going to tap this one down so you can see. See how those are nice and put into the thing? But I don't want the tops to bake. So I'm going to, like get burnt on there. These cook up, I'm going to put them in for 20 minutes. And I'm going to check them. And they might need a few more minutes. The first time I made these, I was so sad because I burnt them. And that's because I put them in for 25 minutes. But these are going in for 20 minutes, and then we'll check them for another. I might flip them around in my tiny little oven. And we will check them, and we'll probably put them in for like another 2 minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, now I think I'm going to do the cranberry sauce. It's so easy, but it needs to sort of sit on the, oh no, Peter. My Peter didn't reject you. Don't worry, he's there. What is mashed cauliflower recipe? I am going to share that with you. Don't worry. It's super easy, and it's just a lot of butter and cream and salt, and it's really good, but there's a technique to it. Okay, let's get our cranberry sauce going. I'm going to make sure that you can actually see this. Yes, you can see this. See, it's right there. Can you see that? Oh, no, you can't. Let's get this. Can you see it now? I think so. If I could get like a camera crew over here to help me, that would be fantastic. So we are going to use real cranberries. Now, real cranberries are not technically keto, but they're a holiday tradition, and I want to be able to give people something that they can have that is lower carb than the stuff that's in the can. Let me just show you. Everybody that's coming into my house is not going to be eating all keto. This tried and true staple is going to be on everybody's kitchen table or kitchen dining room table. This has 28 carbs for a quarter of a cup. Whoa. So we're going to make this lower carb. I don't have the exact carb count, but you're going to be getting your carbs from the cranberries, not from sugar. So this is a 12-ounce bag. I'm going to double the recipe because my girlfriend is going to visit her family and she needs some keto stuff to go with. Yes, Marie, send the camera crew. She needs some keto stuff to go with her, so I am doubling the recipe. You can also freeze this if you don't use it all. We're going to do a cup of water. Get that going. We're going to turn this on. We're not going to put the sweetener in just yet because I'm using a different sweetener. Now, you're going to hear me start to talk about allulose a little bit more. I don't use it very often, but I use it in my pecan pie. I use it in my curds. I use it in like lemon bars and stuff like that. I use it in jams, and it makes the most amazing, amazing caramel sauce. Now, if you see sort of a theme with allulose is that it does not harden. It's used to sweeten things that stay sort of like a jelly or like the pecan pie where you have the sort of the soft center. And then for the cranberries, you don't want it to get hard. And so that's what happens with allulose is that it doesn't fully get hard, but it's great for this type of recipe. The other thing with allulose is that it is only about 70% as sweet as sugar. So I have two brands that I use. This has stevia and monk fruit extract added to this. So it brings the sweetness up to regular sugar. The monk fruit sweetener, the other brand that I have, I can't reach it right now, I'm not tall enough. The other brand that I have is just plain allulose. Now, the other thing about allulose is pretty expensive. Like, I think this bag was like $30. So I don't use it very often, but for these types of things and for my pecan pie, I use a cup of it. And for this, I'll use 2 cups of this because I'm doing 2 batches. Now, the other thing I do with my cranberry, classic flavors for cranberries is orange. Now, I am not going to use orange juice because orange juice has a lot of carbs and I don't want to add any more carbs than I actually have to. This is on a low heat, it's on a high heat because I want to get this going. And I want the berries to start popping. So I'm just going to use the rind and I just take my vegetable peeler and I'll show you what this looks like. And I'm just going to put rind in here, but I'm also, see my orange rind? Smells so good. Well, cranberry and orange is like a classic flavor. So we're just going to put a couple of orange rinds right in there. The zest and the oil from that goes there. And then I'm also going to put in a teaspoon of orange extract. So that's that. If anybody wants to eat an orange, it's here for you because I'm not going to eat it. We'll get this out of the way, get that all out of the way. Okay, we're going to start stirring this baby up, get this moving. I'm going to go grab the orange extract. And we'll get pretty soon, as soon as these start popping, you turn the heat down and you just let it sit there. Now, if you wanted to make real cranberries, like if you didn't want to get it from the can, you could just with real sugar. It is the easiest recipe. You don't need to order this. You don't need to buy it from the supermarket. I have a recipe, one of my very first, I'm just going to get the orange extract. Here it is. One of my very, 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 very first recipes was this cranberry cheesecake crumble. So if I don't use all of Orange. So good. If I don't use all this cranberry sauce, which I'm not going to, I am going to make it into, there's 1 teaspoon of orange extract. Just added that right into that thing there. We're going to get our soup going here in just a minute. And the soup comes together really, really fast because I use my rotisserie chicken. Remember that? I made it like 2 days ago. And Peter's out of town. I've got no one to cook for today. So I just said I'm using that rotisserie chicken in my stuff. Okay, I want to show you one of these. It's starting to pop. Let's see if I can show you. I'm going to burn myself. Not really. Okay. Can you guys see how that's starting to pop? Yeah, it's starting to pop. So we'll just let that do its thing. Let me give a little check here on, oh, those are looking nice. Okay, let's get started with our soup. I'll put the allulose in just a few minutes. We'll get this is for our soup. Yes, I've been very organized. We are going to get this thing started with half of an onion. We're going to chop that baby up. Where's my knife? My goodness. See, this is what happens when I get running late. And this is real life. This is how, you know, everybody gets home from work and they're scrambling to get food on the table. And you just make it work. I mean, everybody's just hungry and it's only 6:40. We got plenty of time. But I'm going to have this soup done in like no time flat. So let's get this going. I like to have my onions in this soup really sort of small dice because I don't want this to be too chunky with because you've got the kale and I'm going to turn the cranberries are turning down and they smell like the holidays. It's really fantastic. Where was I? What was I doing? Oh, you're going to get plenty of chunkiness from the chicken and from the sun-dried tomatoes and from the kale. I only really like to buy kale already chopped, but the supermarket was out of it when I went the other day. So I'm going to show you how I do kale, how I chop the kale and get it ready. And quite frankly, I like it a little bit better when I do it myself because I can get all of the ribs out. Because the rib of the oh, I'm not gonna cry. Onions. Okay, I'm good. Okay, we're gonna turn that up. Sometimes when you get the pre-chopped kale, they leave the stems in because it's easier for them to chop them that way. What did you? Oh, you made. Hi, Donna. We are making Tuscan chicken soup and cranberry sauce, sugar-free cranberry sauce, and the pumpkin bun cakes already went in the oven, and they're doing well. Okay, so our oil for our soup is getting going. This soup comes together really, really, really fast. I had to write it down. I started thinking about the soup because I had this extra chicken, but I love that Tuscan chicken that I do in a skillet. And so anyways, that's what we're making tonight. I made it into a soup. Where is my garlic? There is my garlic. Okay, we're going to do, it's a half of a large onion. I'm going to get that in there. Ooh, nice. Smells delicious. We're going to put 3 cloves of garlic. And again, because I'm being lazy, I'm just going to use my pre-done garlic. Don't cry, Marie. Marie's chopping onions too. So we're going to use my pre-done garlic. I'm going to do 3 garlic cloves, which is 3 teaspoons of this. This is the chunky garlic stuff. I'm going to mix this around. The other thing, because this is sort of like Tuscan, oh, my eyes, I'm crying a little. We're going to add some oregano. We're going to add a teaspoon of oregano. And we're going to get that going. I'm not kidding you, you guys. This soup comes together so fast. You can have it on the table. And you can buy a rotisserie chicken already made, or you can go to Costco. And I don't know if you've seen it, but at Costco, they sell these 2-pound packs of chicken that's already pulled off of the bone. It's the best. Okay, so my onions are sauteing up very nicely. Woo! Onions in my eyes. I need to wear goggles or something. But before we lose sight, can you guys see my, what you call it? Okay, let's see if I can pick this up. Oh my God, this would be a disaster if I dropped this. Check it out. Oh, so pretty. Okay, it's not done yet. We're gonna let it keep doing its thing. And I think it's about time for me to put the allulose in. We're gonna use 1 cup of allulose. I'm sorry, 2 cups of allulose because, where's my thing? Because we are doubling the recipe. I only have a third of a cup thing, so we'll just do this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't worry, I have more. It's like a problem that I have. I'm always buying doubles and triples of things. Hold on, I will get more. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. I need 2 more thirds of a cup. I'm gonna turn this down so I don't burn this crap out of that thing. You guys, I'm just winging it right now. Let's just hope the dinger doesn't go off on the pumpkin loaf, because if the dinger goes off on the pumpkin loaf and I got things burning over here, it's gonna be crazy. Well, this is good because now I have my thing and I can show you the other brand of allulose that I use. This brand is just plain allulose. This was like a $35 bag, and I don't use it very often, but like I said, it's really great. So I need 2 more thirds of this. Open this baby. And then what we'll do is we'll just let the cranberries simmer there on the stovetop for like, let's just put 2 more thirds of this in. There's 1. And there's 2. Okay, so we're good with the sweetener. And we'll test this after it gets even thicker and thicker and thicker. We will test it and see if we need to add any more sweetness. And if we do, we will add stevia. We'll add the stevia to give it a little bit more of a sugar flavor. Okay, so that is going to continue to simmer. It's real, oh gosh, it's so beautiful. And our onions are nice and translucent. So here's what we're going to do. I have already prepared 6 cups of chicken stock. It's going to go right inside here. So 6 cups chicken stock. Then prepackaged, pre-cut, sun-dried tomatoes. This is the brand that I typically like to use. I don't usually find any other brands unless I go to Trader Joe's and they have a brand. You can use the kind that is in the oil already, but make sure that you drain them. It's best when you, I'll answer that question about allulose in a second. It's best if you get them already chopped because they're really kind of slippery and they are tough to chop once they're dried and stuff. So this is 3 ounces, also considered 1 cup of julienne sliced tomato, sun-dried tomato. Okay. I have I have some people visiting me right now. Let's see if they make their way into, I don't think that they're going to come into the kitchen, but my children are home. So I think they're going to be little quiet mouses over there. Anyways, okay, I'm going to pour this right inside my soup. I'm going to give that a stir. I'm going to turn up the heat on my soup. Here is my kale. I don't typically like to buy it this way because it's just more work for me. However, I do like the fact that I can control the stems, because I don't want the stems in my soup because they're a little bit woodier, I guess you call it. They're just harder to chew on. So here is what I do. Get that off of there. Here is my piece of kale. Hello. This is called curly kale. I take the rib right off. There's the rib. This is the part you don't want to eat. Throw that away. Save it for the guinea pigs or the rabbits or whatever. And I'm going to pull all of these off of their rib. And I am going to chop these and finely chop these. And once you get kale into, you can do it that way too. Did you see how I did that? You just pull it right off. See? Easy peasy. Once you get kale boiled or bruised a little bit, it really softens up. But it holds up much nicer than spinach. Now, you could use spinach in this recipe also. I'm totally fine with that. It just gives it a different texture. And actually, spinach is a little bit less carbs if you wanted to go that route. I did not. I did not want to go that route. I wanted to go with the kale. You could also add more cauliflower. You could add cauliflower if you wanted to give it even more chunkiness. But I don't think that this needs the chunkiness. Okay, so there's all of my kale. And I am in groups, because it gets a little unwieldy. I'm just gonna chop, chop, chop. See, normally I would have done this like before I got on camera with you, but I don't know, maybe this is fun for you guys to watch me chop. It's a little unwielding, but there's nothing fancy about this. This is just cooking dinner for the fam. There we go. So I'm going to put those right into I'm going to put that right in there. It's going to wilt down, and it looks much bigger than it really is. But once you get it into the soup, I got to do this quick because my buzzer's going to go off on my pumpkin loaves in any second. Take some anger out on my kale. Some aggression. We'll get that nice and chopped. And we'll get that right into, it's so bright and green. It's so beautiful. We're going to get that right into our soup, and we're going to mix that together. We're going to let that calm down a little bit. It wouldn't be a Kelly Kitchen Monday Night Live session if I didn't pull out my favorite pickle jar with my xanthan gum, which I will be pulling out any moment because the xanthan gum and the cream give this soup just about the right amount of thickness. And oh my gosh, did you hear that? Do you know what that is? Oh my goodness, that's my pumpkin loaf, my pumpkin butt cakes, yay! All right, let's check it out. Okay, they're doing very well. It's been 20 minutes. I'm going to put them in for 3 more minutes. I do not want to burn these babies. Put them in for 3 more minutes. That'll give me plenty of time to work on this stuff. I've got to get my chicken and my xanthan gum, and I got a taste for seasoning. I got a rogue piece of kale there. The kale is wilting down. I'm going to show this to you when it gets nice and soft. What else do I have here? Okay, so I've got my chicken. This is my rotisserie chicken that I make in my Instant Pot. This was, I think, 2 pounds of chicken, maybe 3 pounds of chicken. And then I pulled the bones off and I pulled the skin off. And hi, Regine. Oh, I forgot to answer the question. Donna asked a question about allulose and the measuring of allulose. Allulose measures 1 to 1, just like sugar, but it is 70% as sweet as sugar. So you need to add a little bit of stevia extract, and that stevia extract gives it that little bump of sweetness. As your palate changes, you might not need it. I'm going to turn that down on low. Turn the cranberries down on low. But it does measure 1 for 1. It does not bake the same as the other sugar alcohols that I use. However, I put together a blog post on my blog that explains or tries to explain the difference between allulose, between erythritol, xylitol, which we now avoid because it gives us tummy upset, monk fruit extract, and stevia extract. So these are all things we are so in the infancy of using these low carb sweeteners that we're really just learning how to, oh, I'm going to turn this down. This is going a little crazy. I'll turn my soup down. Oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful. I'm going to show you how pretty this looks when I get it all pulled together. Okay, so I got my chicken. So we're so much in the infancy of these sugar alcohols that we're really trying, even though they've been around for a really long time, but we've been so used to cooking with regular sugar. So now we have to learn new ways. And because we don't use flour, that kind of makes things a little bit difficult because you don't have the protein from, excuse me, the wheat. You guys, I think, you know what time it is. I think I need a soda. I got a little dry mouth going. Okay, let me just get this in here, and then we'll get the chicken nice and heated up. Do you see how, oh, I've got so many things going on right now, I can't even see my head spin. My head is spinning. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to turn these pumpkin loaves around because I've got a crowded oven here, so we're just going to pull those out. I'll show you what they look like so far. See what they look like. We're going to get those back in the oven. We're going to go for another, let's go for another 2 minutes. I know just work with me here. I don't want to burn them, but it's a very special Bundt cake, so we're gonna do the best that we can. Okay, let's get the rest of this chicken in. I think it's called 3 full breasts, and this is, you can use a whole rotisserie chicken from the supermarket if you want. Oh, I was saying Costco has these pre-packaged 2 pounds of pulled chicken if you want. And so now all of my chicken is in there. I am going to add a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum and a half a cup of heavy cream. And then we're going to let it simmer there and get a little bit thicker, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, where's my thing? I'll get a half of a cup of heavy cream. And we'll get that in there. That's going to be so delicious. Now, because I'm not cooking really for anybody tonight, this soup, I'll have this soup myself for dinner, and then I will put this in my freezer. And this is such a great batch cooking soup because you can do this in single servings, or you can store it like, I have so much soup in my freezer, it's crazy. Check it out. This is my chicken vegetable soup. I have like, I don't know, 10 of these in my freezer. I've got cream of mushroom, I've got chicken stock, I've got my cauliflower leek from last week. Where's my pickle jar? Okay, here's my pickle jar of my xanthan gum. I'm going to do half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. And remember, with xanthan gum, less is better because you don't want your soup or your thing to be gloppy. And I'm going to, oh shoot, I'm gonna quickly do this and then I gotta go get my pumpkin stuff. I don't want this to get gloppy. There we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna let my soup simmer. Oh God, it's so pretty. And I'm gonna get my pumpkin. Let's get this out. Perfect. You guys, these are amazing. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm so happy. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let these sit for like a few minutes and then I'm gonna show you what they look like. It's amazing. We'll put those on the side there and then we're gonna take my 2 little ramekins, get those off to the side, and we are done with the oven. Whoops. We're done with the oven. Let's check our cranberry sauce. How are we doing on time? Oh my God, we are in such good time. We're gonna mix our cranberry sauce. Oh, you guys, I think it's really thickening up nicely. You know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get a spoonful so you can see what that looks like. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so here, I actually, can you see? It's nice. Can you see that? Can you see? There is my cranberry sauce. And it's gonna simmer here for just a little bit longer. I have it on low. I have my soup is simmering also. Oh my God, that looks so great. I'll ladle that so you guys can see that in a second. We're gonna turn that on simmer. Where's my lid? There's my lid. We're gonna let the soup just chill out. Now, the reason I didn't do this in the Instant Pot, but you can do it in the Instant Pot, is because when you put something in the Instant Pot and it says 5 minutes, it's really not 5 minutes. I'm sorry. It's once you get stuff into the Instant Pot and you seal it, then the Instant Pot has to pressurize for like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what you have in there. So when you do it on the stovetop right here, you can kind of just, you don't have to wait for it to do its thing. Although sometime I will show you in the Instant Pot because it's really easy and fun. Okay, I think this has cooled down enough and it's not going to burn my mouth, but it's Thanksgiving. Okay, here's the thing I was going to tell you. I am not going to eat all this. I think I might have already said this before, but I've been going a million miles a second. It's so delicious. I'm going to give half of this to my girlfriend. She's going to take it to her families. They're never going to even know the difference. They are never going to know that this is not made with real sugar. I'll bet you $100 million they would never know. But I'm not going to eat all of this, so I am going to make some some cranberry cheesecake bars. I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but yesterday I had some extra dough, so I made the base. This is like a shortbread base, and I'll do a cranberry cheesecake bar with this and with my cranberry sauce. So I'm always trying to think of new fun things. Unfortunately, I gave all of the pecan pie away, so I can't show you what the pecan pie looks like. But I will make the pecan pie before Christmas, and so you guys can see how easy that is because you make a caramel sauce first with the allulose, and it comes together really, really, really nicely. Okay, let me get this out of the way because now I'm going to show you what our pumpkin Bundt cakes look like. Now, you're going to have to bear with me for a second because I lost my baking rack. Please hold. Don't worry, I'm not going too far. I'm just going to get my baking rack, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Here we go. So what you guys don't see behind the scenes is that I have a whole photography studio set up in my living room. God bless my family for dealing with my photography studio. But this is just my little baking rack. And I'm gonna move this over here. Get this, my pickle jar out of the way, get my cream back in the fridge. And I am going to put my baking rack on top of my, let's pray, please, that these come out. I think they will. I've done it. I've made them 5 times, and 3 times they were a disaster, but twice now they've been okay. So let's just see. So this is what I do. I put my cooking rack on top, and then I go like this. Please work, please work, please work. That would be really human if it doesn't work. Please work, please work, please work. I think I have to take these off. Is this too hot? It's too hot. I have to use, let's see, what am I going to do? Please work. Da 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 da. Oh no! It didn't work. Oh no, I didn't leave them in here long enough. Okay, don't do that. They really should have been sitting here for like, they really should have been sitting here for like 10 minutes. And that's such a bummer. My pumpkin cakes. Well, that's what happens when you're trying to rush through things. I'm sure it still tastes good. And I still have one left. Ow, I still have one left here. I'm going to let that one sit for a little bit. That's really a bummer. Oh my gosh. Well, if anybody wants some pumpkin crumble, I need some help with Bundt cakes. This is crazy. I swear I've made this like 3 times and it worked, and then 3 times it didn't work, or 2 times it didn't work. So I'm just going to tell you right now that they taste amazing. And I'm going to chalk this up to I didn't let them sit long enough. They need to really sit there for like 10 minutes. All right. It is what it is. Disaster. Oh, well, that is what happens. But we do know that our cranberry sauce came together very nicely. And our Tuscan chicken soup is beautiful. And I'm going to ladle some into a bowl for you guys to see. And this is going to be my dinner and the leftover crumbs from my pumpkin Bundt cakes. Okay, so that was a total disaster, and it is what it is. They do taste great, I promise. Okay, let's take a look at our soup so you guys can see how amazing and beautiful this is. It's got sun-dried tomatoes, kale, chicken. I love it. It's going to be super hot. I hope I don't burn. But it comes together really, really fast. And you can serve this, you know, cold winter day or whatever. It's really, really, really delicious. And it's hearty because it has the kale and the sun-dried tomatoes. And I think this one's a winner, and the cranberry sauce is a winner. The pumpkin Bundt cake loaves. Don't tell anybody. Shh. Don't tell anybody. You guys, this has been super fun. Real life stuff. I'm gonna move back here so you can see me. Real life stuff. See my Thanksgiving apron. Thank you so much for joining me on the Kelly Kitchen. This is real life stuff, and I hope that you got some do's and some don'ts. That stuff over there, although they taste really good. And I can't wait to see you next week. If you want to find me anywhere, you can go to the Kelly Kitchen, thekellikitchen.com, any of the social media. You know, obviously like and share and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. But I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving with your families. Be safe. Don't eat too many carbs. but enjoy yourself. And remember, it's just one day of the year. So if you eat some carbs, don't worry about it. Start fresh the next day. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. And bye.